You look at the stats in this, and the Pistons and the Cavs have exactly the same amount of turnovers, which shocked me. When I saw that, I kind of did a double take.
Yeah, well, you and me both. And I think that's probably because, in the games on the road, the Cavs turnovers were very untimely. Um, as we saw in games 1 and 2 in Detroit, they made turnovers too many early in the first quarter, got themselves in a hole. James Harden had that one late in game 2. And it's really about the timeliness of them. When are these turnovers happening? You can make a turnover if you're up 15. It's no big deal, But when these close games that really are swinging on very little things, like taking care of the basketball, listen, Cade Cunningham had three big turnovers toward the end of game 3. He had a couple in game 4 that cost Detroit. So, when your stars have the ball as much as they do, you count on them to take care of it, but they're going to be the ones making the turnover because they have the ball in their hands most of the time. But it's surprising to me. But listen, the Cavs did a great job in the second half of game 3 and all of game 4, and 90% of the game taking care of the basketball. And that's really what you got to do, is take care of it most of the game, and especially when it counts. We hear a lot about it here in Cleveland, obviously, but they're complaining about the same thing in Detroit with taking care of the ball when it means the most. So, it is a little bit of a surprise, given that that's been the whole kind of narrative when the Cavs lose. It's they're turning the ball over. And guess what? That's a fitting narrative because they do turn the ball over too much in road games.
And Kenny Atkinson was asked what's worked better as of late in terms of taking care of the ball.
I think we're screening better. Screening's important. I think our spacing's, we figured out some things spacing-wise. I think we're moving off the ball again. We're our shared principles. I'm thinking of the one early in the first half where Evan had it in the post. They swarmed him. James sprinted into an open space and got a 3. We're doing our work to get in those windows, which you need to do against this team. I think that's been a huge key.
Sam, the ones that drive me up a wall are where they're trying to pass the ball across court, and it's kind of lackadaisical. And Harden did that a couple of times. Donovan Mitchell, it's like you can't do that. Not in a playoff game.
No, and that's just it. You could get away with that stuff in the regular season sometimes, but the playoffs, no. And what Kenny said there's a lot of obvious truth behind that, in the sense that sometimes the turnover it's not always on the guy making the pass or the ball handler. It's guys not moving. It's, as he said, getting to our windows, which are open spaces, and not just standing outside the 3-point line. You could go get the basketball and then give it right back and go right back to the 3-point line. But, when James Harden is double teamed, you can't just kind of stand around and say, well, what's he going to do now? You've got to go help him out. And I think that's what Kenny was talking about. But yeah, Kenny Atkinson has said over and over and over, hit singles with your passes. Don't need to hit a home run. Just hit a single, move the basketball, and you do that, you're a lot less likely to give Detroit the ball, and 90% of the time when they get the ball off a steal or a turnover like that, it results in 2 points. So I think that's kind of been the point of emphasis is, don't rush into decisions, don't make cross-court passes, and there's certainly, if you're double teamed, there's going to be somebody open, and take your time finding that guy.